What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and today I'm back with another quick news video. This time, I'm going to be talking about a potentially upcoming ban on gaming loot box systems, an official response from Blizzard regarding Moira's recent PTR nerf, as well as a few other new tidbits such as a new hero gallery update and a change to Moira's golden gun. So without further ado, let's jump on in. First and foremost, we have what could turn into a government-enforced ban on gaming loot box systems, including the one we have in Overwatch. This all started with the now notorious Battlefront 2 incident that took place over the past week, which I'm sure many of you have at least heard of by now. If you haven't, then in short, EA's latest Star Wars game, Battlefront 2, has been under heavy criticism from the gaming community for its implementation of microtransactions to buy loot boxes, which, unlike Overwatch's strictly cosmetic system, could reward you with competitive advantages in the forms of stronger weapons and better playable characters in its online multiplayer. And while gamers were clamoring to get the attention of Disney to step in on this kind of highway robbery via their Star Wars IP, this incident also caught the attention of Belgium's Gaming Commission, who I should mention have nothing to do with video games, but rather casinos and gambling. About a week ago now, they launched an investigation into whether or not video game loot boxes should be considered a form of gambling, and their recently revealed conclusion was that yes, they are. Their official statement regarding their findings was that the mixing of money and addiction is gambling, and that mixing gambling and gaming, especially at a young age, is dangerous for the mental health of the child. Therefore, the Commission will now begin to actively push for a ban of video game loot boxes, not only in Belgium, but across Europe as a whole. Depending on how it plays out, this could be huge. And in order to clear up any confusion about whether or not this could pertain to Overwatch's exclusively cosmetic boxes, the Gaming Commission reportedly analyzed two games in particular when working towards their decision, being Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Overwatch. Both were deemed to be cases of video game gambling. Now, you might be looking at this in a couple of different ways right now. The majority of people seem to be rejoicing. Big greedy companies like EA will get their just desserts for all their heartless and money-grubbing tactics, and will finally be free of stupid chance-based and pay-to-win video games. But others, myself included, are considering the possible negative repercussions of a change like this. Game developers may have to start charging more for the base game in order to compensate for the loss of money via loot boxes. Meaning that regardless of whether or not you planned on spending money via microtransactions, you now have to dig even deeper into your wallet just to be able to play the game at all. We obviously don't know Blizzard's internal financial records or earnings, or just how much money they actually make via their loot box sales, but taking those away would absolutely make a huge dent in their financial profits. The result of this kind of change could be pretty devastating, such as slower overall development times, leading to much longer delays between content updates, or even the necessity to start including paid DLC for new heroes and maps. Even further, if Blizzard is forced to rework its internal company structuring, countless Blizzard employees might even end up losing their jobs. Of course, these are all just extreme speculations as for right now, and so far, loot boxes haven't actually been banned anywhere. But depending on how far the Gaming Commission is able to push their jurisdiction, and whether or not other nations and governments decide to follow suit, we could possibly be seeing major changes coming to more games than just Overwatch in the months and years ahead. And of course, this is a very controversial topic, so be sure to leave your own thoughts regarding it in the comment below, and share your opinion by voting in today's poll card. Now, moving on to a much lighter topic, many of you have likely seen the issue of Moira's recent undocumented PTR nerf being discussed either on Reddit or by my fellow YouTubers. In short, the amount of leeway given to the player for her biotic grasp to latch onto an enemy target was reduced, thus meaning that it'll be much harder for her to damage enemies, and therefore harder to charge her healing spray. People are getting pretty hot and bothered by this, making the usual Moira is dead overreactions. But now we have an official response from Blizzard saying that the change was in fact a bug and was not intended on their part. Overwatch developer Tim Ford made a decently sized post on the forums explaining that basically, they reworked the ability's mechanics on the backend to allow her to better target a specific enemy when they were in a group, and in doing so, the lock-on range got a little messed up. They are already planning to have this fixed by early next week, but since all of this is only on the PTR, there's really no cause for anyone to be alarmed. So, up and rising Moira mains can be relieved to know that their new favorite hero hasn't gotten the Doomfist treatment. At least, not yet anyways. I will mention that this is yet another excellent example of why people should be careful about getting so up in arms about PTR changes. Since this by far isn't the first time people have gotten mad at Blizzard over a seemingly unjustified PTR change that ultimately ended up just being a bug. Remember guys, Blizzard staff is a bunch of human beings just like you and me. Well, except for Jeff. Scientists aren't quite sure what he is yet. But moving on, we also got the new Blizzard World map on the PTR at the same time as Moira's bug. I've already made a couple videos covering it, which I encourage you to check out if you haven't already. It's quite a nice map, especially if you happen to be a fan of Blizzard's other games. If you're on PC, then you can try it out for yourself by hopping on the PTR. Also, there was the addition of the Mark All as Seen button in the Hero Gallery, which allows you to quickly get rid of all those annoying notifications once and for all. And last but not least, there was an update to Moira's golden weapon, which now makes her fingernails golden as well. It isn't the golden backpack many people were clamoring for, but I think that this change will still suit her just fine, and makes her golden weapon stand out better all the same. Anyways, that will do it for today. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to leave a comment below with your thoughts about anything I talked about here today, especially regarding the loot box ban, since I'm really interested in hearing what you all think about it. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit the bell to keep up with all my future Overwatch related content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and honestly, I would miss Overwatch's loot boxes if they got forcefully removed. They don't influence balance like many other games' microtransactions do, and they certainly add even more excitement to an already great game. But regardless, until next time, have a great day.